Jim, thanks for being here. Thanks for being on this movie, and thanks for taking the time.
Oh, it's my absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
You know, you're a tough man to introduce because you're doing so many things. And one of the things that you and I have had a chance to speak a bit lately is we've been talking about the Mother Teresa film, but I just wondered if you'd say something. You're the executive director of the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation. What does that do?
So the Mark Wahlberg Youth Foundation was founded just over 20 years ago. And it started, we were approached by a priest who was looking for some support, financial support, for rebuilding the roof, the air conditioning, the heating system for their community building. And it was, the way he brought it to us was, this is the only safe place for kids to go after it gets dark in this area. And so we did a premiere of the Planet of the Apes. It was our first charity event. And we raised a significant amount of money, enough to do all the work. And then soon after, my brother and I sat down and we just kind of looked at each other and said, what are we going to do now? And so over the course of just over 20 years, we've raised several $1 million. We've supported many different programs.
Fantastic. So, Jim, we're here to talk about this new movie, Mother Teresa, No Greater Love. You're in it. I want to first talk about, maybe you could share with us a bit about your own experience in Mother Teresa. You're featured in the movie. It's a deeply moving moment, especially as it relates to your conversion. I wonder if you could just say to our viewers a little bit about what she means to you and what that event was like.
So Mother Teresa means everything to me. And it's amazing because as we were leading up to the event of Mother Teresa coming into the state prison in Massachusetts that I was in, and when Father Jim Freitas, who's in heaven now, told me that she was coming and how excited he was, I had no idea who she was, And in my own defense, if this is a defense, I probably didn't know who the president of the United States was either at that time, because I was just really, really in rough shape. I was in prison. I had been drinking and doing drugs and living in the streets for a number of years, and I was really in bad shape. And then the day came, and I got to tell you that witnessing her humility, I was blessed because I worked in the chapel. I was blessed to be part of the procession. And so as we processed in, there was, the cardinal was there, and, he had his, when the cardinal shows up, there's a lot of, it's a big deal. And so he had a special chair and he had his special hat and and as he went up onto the stage, which was the altar in the gymnasium at this prison, he sort of beckoned Mother Teresa to come, and that he had a special spot for her. And she humbly declined. She humbly declined. This very important person, she humbly declined. And instead, she chose to stay on her knees with the inmates and her sisters. And that moment touched me. And, because I think it's kind of human nature. We all want to shine, right? We all want to be seen. We all want to be heard. We all want to be important, I guess. And it was important for her that we knew that we were just as important as anybody else in the room. And so she chose to be with us. And there were some dangerous men in that room. And it was at that moment that I sort of made eye contact with her. And it was in that moment that, for lack of a better explanation, I really felt as though I was looking at the face of God. We all, when I pray, I always pray, when I pray, allow me to be a reflection of your love, right? And here was that reflection. This was what I was looking at. And in that, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to have the clarity to know it was that moment that changed my life, right? It was that moment that the process began. And then from there, when she did finally go up onto the stage, and the words that she said were incredible. The words that she said, nobody ever told me that there was a loving God. Nobody ever told me that Jesus died for me specifically. when I tell the story, it sometimes sounds a little crazy to people, but there was an instant where it felt to me like everybody else was gone and it was just her and I, that she was just talking to me. She was telling me that Jesus died for me, you know, and that I was more than the crimes that I committed. And I was more than the prison number they had assigned to me, that I was a child of God. If you can imagine, just for a moment, having Saint Mother Teresa say those words to you and to you only, right? In hindsight, you know, I have this strong sense that God sent her for me, right? I can't think about it any other way because, you know, not only did my life start to head in a different direction, but it headed in a direction, and I hope that it's still traveling in a direction of service, right? Of trying to serve God and trying to serve those that are less fortunate and trying to be a reflection of his love. And I'm certainly imperfect. I'm certainly a sinner without a doubt. And I got a long, long way to go. But I feel like that day changed everything for me.